team that 2 years ago you beat 58-0. He comes in and has them on the cusp of an ACC championship. Can you just talk about what he's been able to do there in Miami?
It's incredible. I mean, I've enjoyed watching it because I'm a Mark Richt fan. I always have been. I've always thought a lot of Coach Richt. He's the real deal. He's a good man. He's a great football coach. He's a great husband. He's a great father. I think he's about the right things and always has been. And I've just, as a younger coach, kind of coming up and watching his, ascension, as if you will, I've just always paid attention to Coach Richt. And unbelievable job he did at Georgia. So I'm not surprised at all. I think it was a great hire by Miami, a great fit. I think he was able to come in and unite just the former players, the fan base, just bring a different mindset and structure and culture, if you will. And it's pretty, and he's having fun. That's the other thing. I've had a chance. I've known Mark and have been around him in different situations, but I've never been in meetings with him. And so to have an opportunity to sit in coaches' meetings, and he's a very good guy. He's very smart, but he's having fun. I think he's just really enjoying the moment down there and the journey. John, his son, is there on the staff, and he's a great young coach, and so it's an amazing job that he's done. He's created a belief and great energy in the program and chemistry, and giving them, like I said, some just good direction moving forward. I think it's great for our league.
Again, to our right here.
Hey, Dabo. I talked to Dorian this week on the phone. He's from my area, the Beltway, okay. Baltimore. Talk about
good counsel.
Yeah. Talk about how he became come to Clemson, and talk about his development as a good linebacker.
Well, Dorian was a running back at Good Counsel up there in Maryland, and he played linebacker too. And we felt like he could be a great linebacker, but boy, when he got there, man. He wasn't real interested in football, to be honest with you. He was more interested in, what was going on campus. He was a guy that I don't think ever thought about football outside of the little time we would have him, and it was just a lot to learn for him. He had a lot of football to learn, and it just took him a little while. He always has had the skill and the physicality, the explosiveness, but he had to develop physically. He had to get stronger, but more importantly, he had to develop mentally. He had to learn the game, and he had to become a dependable, relentless, committed player. Otherwise he wasn't going to get on the field for Brent. And so that's kind of his journey. And he redshirted his redshirt freshman year. He was our special teams player of the year. He's always been a great special teams guy. But he started to kind of, after that sophomore year, he kind of made a little bit, I think there was a switch that went off like, you know what? They're not going to play me if I'm a 50-50 guy. If I play 10 plays and I get 5 busts and 5 pluses, they're not going to play me. Because that's kind of where he was. He'd make 5 great plays and then he'd make 5 horrible plays. And you're just scratching your head. And he just really dove in and got committed. And the rest is history. And I've seen a bunch of guys like that. I'm a very patient guy when it comes to player development, especially when I know a guy has the ability. Sometimes it just takes a little longer. But he finally bought in, and he's a Butkus finalist. What a 2-year run he's had, and going to be a great pro. He's well prepared, and he's become one of the best leaders that we have. If you'd have told me 5 years ago that Dorian was going to be the guy, the Ben Boulware guy standing up in front of the team, I would have never believed that. Man, you got to give him all the credit, and Brent's just done an amazing job with Dorian.
Back right, red shirt.
Greg Brzezinski, ABC Columbia. Coach, you've mentioned about the consistency of the program and how tough it is to play in this conference all year. As you guys are making your 3rd straight trip here, this is the 5th year that there's been a new champ out of the Coastal Division. Is there anything you've noticed as to why there's more diversity in that division of who's been making it to Charlotte or Orlando? And what have you noticed about how much tougher the road has been to get back to this game? in your league?
I don't know that I've noticed much about the other side. I mean, it's just, it's been Virginia Tech was for a long time. They kind of had a heck of a run on that side, and then North Carolina popped in there, and then Virginia Tech was back. And I think, since Miami came in the league, you just felt like at some point, Miami was going to be there, and so here they are. But just been at Georgia Tech, we had them in our first championship game. So they've been in it a couple times. But, I think in our side, it's kind of come down to us in Florida State for whatever reason over the last few years. But it's hard, man. And this year in particular, it's been one of the most gratifying seasons that I've been a part of, just simply because of all the change and turnover, new coaches, I lost 2 great D-line coaches that have been with me from day one, a new safeties coach, and a new D-line coach coming in, and then obviously a lot of change on offense, so it's been a very gratifying year. And again, that's why I'll tell you, I'm just, if we ended today, I'm super proud of this group, and the efforts they put in.
Last question to our left.
Debo, Matt Porter, Palm Beach Post. This has been rumored for a while about Jimbo, leaving Florida State. It looks like that is going to happen. The reports that he actually has left. I'm just curious how that hits you, and what does that mean for maybe your side of the conference?
Well, I'm not going to comment on anything that I don't know. I appreciate the question, but I have no idea. I haven't. Is he gone? He did what? Oh, is that like a tweet? Well, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I appreciate the question, but if it is, he's obviously feels like maybe it's the right move for him. I don't know, but I know that he did an unbelievable job at Florida State, and this is a business that's very public, as we all know, and from time to time, you have to make decisions, and sometimes those decisions become very public, and the public's going to weigh in with how they feel about it. And if that's what he chooses to do, listen. I like Jimbo. It's been a great competitive journey. I've known him forever. When I was at Alabama and he was Auburn, and if that's what he's doing, then evidently he feels like that's the right move for him and his family, and the right time to do so. But Florida State's Florida State, and they'll hire a great coach. I don't have any doubt about that. And and I guess we'll see him next year if that's what he's going to do. We play Texas A&M for the next 2 years. I can't get rid of him. So still be a thorn in our side. But like I said, if that's accurate, I wish him nothing but the best, and I'm sure I'll touch base with him at some point.
Thank you, Coach. If everybody
Okay.
could just stay where they are
Thank you.
for a little bit.